On the wall of the Westwood Medical Center on Wilshire Boulevard across from the National Cemetery, there is a huge picture of the Statue of Liberty, but only her upper half. From the chest down, according to the latest LA Weekly, the colors fade to flat off-white. The robes and pedestal are unfinished. Artist Mike McNeely was interrupted by the police. The Building and Safety Department had asked him to stop work on his massive Supergraphic, but he refused. McNeely now has painted a tear falling from Liberty's eye as he waits for the legal process to work itself out. And there's a considerable legal process that has been set in motion. McNeely has sued not only the city of Los Angeles, but Councilman Mike Feuer personally, because Feuer was the one who called the Building and Safety Department in the first place. Neither McNeely nor Feuer wanted to come on our program today and talk about their lawsuit. But David Bloom wrote the story for the LA Weekly. He joins us now. David Bloom, good to have you with us.
Hey, how are you doing, Warren?
Good, thank you. This is part of a wider effort, it would appear, and there are motions before the City Council. So bring us up to date. What's going on, and what are the issues?
Well, at the present time, the Cultural Affairs Commission, led by Al Nadal, is putting together a proposal to bring to the City Council's attention on the issue of supergraphics, which they hope to greenlight. They've met with leaders of the industry and some other Department of Transportation and other parts of the city to come up with a solution to the proliferation problem, because right now, as it stands, the city of Los Angeles doesn't have a section of code pertaining to these large sheets. So what happens is people are making backroom business deals with the owners of high-rise buildings for upwards of $30,000 per month to let them to lease their walls, and they put up whatever advertisements they currently choose fit.
Okay, let's first talk about the technology. You mentioned large sheets, and some of these, as I understand it, are computer-generated, although I'm not sure that's true of the Statue of Liberty that we started out talking about. But what's the technology? Why is it possible, or how is it possible to do these things?
Well, that's the reason why a new genre has been created is because of technology. Currently, computers are allowing these advertisers to have them to design their supergraphic and have a printing company print them out on large sheets of either like a vinyl mesh material that they'll string to the side of a building, or just a straight vinyl material that they can paste to the side of a building. And it's similar to the exteriors of buses that have advertisements on them as well. And it's a new form of technology that has allowed them to take advantage of these things. In the old days, I mean, everything down to billboards was done by hand and painted on there, and it took a lot more time. These things can be put up with relative ease.
Okay, now McNeely's, though, as I understand it, are in fact painted on, and he maintains that his has nothing to do with advertising, that he just wanted to put the Statue of Liberty up there because it's across from the National Cemetery. It was a patriotic thing to do for Memorial Day and the 4th of July. What about rules involving art? Is the Cultural Affairs Commission taking those into consideration, too?
They are. They currently have a stipulation for mural signs, which cannot exceed 3% of text on them. And that's what they're hoping that people would start doing, was adhering to that. But it just doesn't fall in the same. Mural signs need to be structurally independent of a building. Therefore, these are not. McNeely did do this sort of as a public service announcement, which he's been very famous for doing in the past. But not all of them have been public service announcement, as he has told me in an interview. He has done some for money, and he leased most of the tall walls in the early 1980s before everybody else could. And what he did was sell off some of his leases later on for a hefty undisclosed sum. And but he ran into some trouble, as a lot of people will remember, back in 1996 when he teamed with the promoters of the film Armageddon to strap a large supergraphic to the side of a building on the 405, which created a traffic jam in both directions for 24 hours. So he's done some for money, but most of what he's done has been public service announcements.
Now, the one on the 405, as I remember, showed that the building made it look like the building had been blown up or something, didn't it?
Yeah, it looked like a huge chunk was blown out of the building, and a lot of people were stopping by to see it.
Right, which, of course, is the point in many cases. Certainly with advertising, you want people to slow down their cars. You said that backroom deals are being made for some of these tall walls, as they're called. What kind of money is in it for a building owner who wants to make a wall available for one of these super graphics?
Well, as Rick Robinson from Outdoor Systems told me in an interview, he starts the bidding process at about $30,000 per side of a wall. Now that can vary in West
For what
Hollywood.
length? What length of time do you get for $30,000?
Um, Most of the leases that I see go into the 5 and 10 year
Mm-hmm.
range, so it's a very long time. They own a lot of leases, and it's in their best interest to get this legislation
Mm-hmm.
passed. Of course.
So then the building owner leases it, and then somebody operates it and has different signs coming on. Do you know what it costs to get a sign up for a week or 2 weeks or whatever?
Well, the advertiser will pay $30,000 to Outdoor Systems, who will split that cost that profit in half with the building owner. So
Mm-hmm.
for instance, if it were $30,000 on the side, which the Austin Towers on Sunset and Vine did cost, that would be split down the middle between the building owner and Outdoor Systems. And if there's no advertisement, the way I see it, they aren't getting paid.
Okay. Thanks, David Bloom. I hope you'll stay with us for a while.